Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here. It's time to take a look at the phone with the biggest camera bump I have ever seen on a phone. This is the Xiaomi Mi 11 Ultra. Now there's a reason for the large bump on the back because it even has a display built in to the back of the phone along with a triple camera system. This is Xiaomi's latest flagship phone. So we're gonna unbox the Mi 11 Ultra, take a look at what you get inside, and then of course get some hands-on with the device, take a look at all of the flagship features that it has. Let's get started. Here is the Mi 11 Ultra from Xiaomi. You want to make a note, it specifically says on the side with easy access to the Google apps you use the most. I wonder why they put that. Anyways, opening up the box right away, we get another box. Let's see what's inside. There was a SIM ejection tool, user guide, warranty information. There is even a USB-C to 3.5 millimeter headphone adapter. Always nice to see when manufacturers include extras. So there is that adapter for your headphones and also a case. Again, great to see. Oh my gosh, look at that cutout for the back camera. Excited to take a look at this phone. We are gonna set the Mi 11 Ultra to the side for just a second. Continue through the box. Finally is our power brick and charging cable, USB Type A to USB Type C with some orange accents on the cable. And here is that 67 watt brick if you want to take a look at some of the specs. The front gives you a quick look at some of the specs. The latest Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 processor, the 120 hertz display. It says dual displays because there is one on the back, and it also has 67 watt wireless turbocharging capabilities, so not just wired charging. Now let's take off this plastic and take a look at what you actually came to see, and that is this device. I have to say, while holding it, it does feel a little top heavy right away. I'll have to try it out a little bit more, but that's just my initial impression. But here it is. There is probably the largest bump on the back of a phone I have seen yet. There is a display to the right of all of these camera lenses. I'm going to boot the phone up, and while it turns on, we'll take a close look at all the hardware on this phone. At the bottom, our SIM slot, USB Type-C port, microphone, one of our Harman Kardon-tuned speakers. Moving along on the right side is where the power button is and the volume rockers. I am noticing that the power button actually has a little bit of texture to it. Hopefully the camera can pick that up. Cropped in the shot a bit, so hopefully we can see the texture on the button. And up at the top, we have an IR blaster. I'm really happy Xiaomi is including that. Just about nobody includes an IR blaster anymore. We have a microphone and our other speaker. You'll notice the text right here saying Harman Kardon. Also, take a look at that camera bump from multiple angles. Along the left side, absolutely nothing. Flipping it over on the back, 5G, it says Xiaomi. And let's take a look at the actual camera setup. The wide angle lens is 50 megapixels. The ultra wide angle lens, 48 megapixels, and a 48 megapixel 5x optical zoom periscope telephoto style lens that can zoom in digitally up to 120 times. You've also got your flash, and again, this is an actual screen built into the back of the phone. I have to say, I really like the white color on this phone, especially how it accents well with the large black rectangle up at the top of the phone. Now, I'm going to run through the startup process of their MIUI 12, which is on top of Android 11, and I'll talk about anything that's noteworthy. Mi 11 Ultra does have an in-display fingerprint scanner, so let's set that up very quickly. I want to make note, while typing in my Wi-Fi password, I really did like the vibration motor feedback that the keyboard was giving. So great to see, always adds a nice touch to the phone. Anyways, that was really quick. Fingerprint is done. We can add more later. You have an option between classic or app drawer. I personally prefer having an app drawer. Now setup is complete. You're ready to rock. And here is that 6.81 inch AMOLED display, again at 120 hertz capabilities with a 1440 by 3200 resolution. For an initial test, let's swipe through a couple screens. It actually doesn't seem like 120 hertz is on. Let's dive into settings to confirm that. Go into display, and it looks like it's not. So refresh rate out of the box was set to 60 hertz. So if you'd like to use it, make sure you go into settings and switch it to 120 hertz. Yes, it will use a little bit more battery life, but it's definitely worth it in my opinion. Display resolution out of the box is using that 1440p. One more thing I forgot to mention is that there is a pre-installed screen protector. Again, great when they include extras, and this front-facing camera is 20 megapixels. Now let's go ahead and test out that fingerprint scanner that we set up. Setting our thumb down unlocks it right away. There's actually a really nice vibration feedback when it is unlocking the phone. Now, let's go ahead and wait. You'll notice a little icon show up. Now the screen is completely off. If I set my finger down, it actually did unlock the phone, even though this is an optical fingerprint scanner. So that's kind of nice to see that it recognized, even with the screen fully off, you can go ahead and set our thumb down. Also, you noticed when I just left my thumb down, they can add quick shortcuts. So that's a neat little addition where if I wanted to quickly scan a QR code, maybe I'm at a restaurant, I can do that. Before we get to the actual camera, let's check out what's next to it. You'll notice, look at that, an always on display. This is a 1.1 inch display. It is also AMOLED, so works really well with something like an always on display. Now let's actually set it up. So we have to go into additional settings. No, I think it's special features and rear display. So let's see how you can actually customize it. Using it, show items on it, double tap to wake, turn off after a certain amount of time. Looks like you can only do all the way up to 30 seconds. Now there's themes to it. It gives you a quick screenshot of what it will look like, but with the clock, you can change the color of the text. So let's do that. The clock style. So if you want it sideways as opposed to vertical, you can change colors automatically, showing battery percentage, and even notifications. So if you get a notification coming through, a little dot will show up. You can also have it have some text. Again, completely customize the size, the weight, the spacing, the color, or just a specific image. If you want an astronaut with date, time, battery, notifications, that is all an option for you. So after applying the theme, there it is. Really cool and a nice use of it, especially if you just have your phone face down as opposed to always having it all the way up. And I'm guessing this will use less battery considering it's smaller than a front display. Probably not by a large margin though. Let's go into the camera app and then see how it does tie into that display. Let's just go ahead and snap a couple pictures. Seems very quick. And switching to that ultra wide angle lens, again, letting a lot more into the shot. Everything seems very snappy. And then pressing it again, it goes into the 5x zoom. Now, like I said, this is optical, so not digital zoom to take your picture. So 5x is quite a bit. Now, if we zoom in more, like I said, it goes all the way up to 120 times. More of a novel-like feature. It'll work much better outside, obviously not in an office where everything is closer to me, but will be a lot of fun to test out very soon. Now right away, the back display is not on. You'll notice it is showing the always on display. However, if up towards the top, you select rear display preview, there it is. So you can actually get a preview of what you're going to take a picture of. So obviously this is me behind the camera. It's very small, but still, in my opinion, does the trick. If you're holding your phone close, you can frame it, level it up, make sure you're centered. And not only that, but use one of the main lenses on the back. So you can take an ultra wide angle selfie shot. You'll notice it's letting a lot more in. It just essentially will preview what the camera is actually showing, whatever lens you decide to use, making the front-facing camera less needed, to be honest. If you can take selfies with your rear camera, that is a huge plus, and it's much easier seeing yourself. And again, I pressed the volume key, 2, 1, it snapped a picture for me. In terms of some modes, a pro mode to customize the shot, you have video mode. I want to make note, you can actually shoot in 8K, 24 frames a second with this phone, or 4K 60 frames a second. Pretty incredible that they're offering that option. You also have some quick settings for macro, moving object, or AI camera. There is a portrait mode and jumping into more. You can bump it all the way up to that 50 megapixel option. There's short video, there's multicam, long exposure. So if I go into multicam, check it out. I can select different cameras to use. It has 10x, 5x, 2x, 1x, ultra wide, and that front facing camera all in one shot. Finally, let's jump back into settings. It looks like there is a system update and a bunch of app updates, so I'll apply those after this video. However, there is a theme section, so you can add a ton of different themes, really customize your phone. Scrolling through additional settings such as button shortcuts, quick ball. If you're accidentally touching the side, it is auto. However, you can change the area. So since it does have curved sides to the display, you can choose a larger area if you're accidentally touching the side of the phone. But I'm gonna leave it on auto and see how it does. One-handed mode, beautify for video calls. Interesting, use beauty for WeChat video calls. Back into special features, there's a game turbo. So a game mode to really customize that experience. Video toolbox, floating windows. So you can actually pop windows out, close them, move them around, or minimize different ones. Second space for a second lock screen to use different apps and such to keep things even more secure. And a light mode, bigger icons, larger text, less visual clutter. Also, can't forget to show off the included protective case. Again, this is a clear case, nice because then you can still see whatever color it is that you actually bought. So it did have that very large cutout. It covers the side buttons. It has protection around the edges and corners. The corners have a little bit more to them overall. But again, very minimal case. Doesn't really feel like it's adding much weight to it whatsoever. So again, nice of Xiaomi to include this. Now anyways, that is everything for now on the Mi 11 Ultra from Xiaomi. Really excited to try this out. This is a true flagship from them. Pumped to get this camera out there, really test it out, test out some of those zoom shots. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to click that subscribe button. A lot more content coming soon. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching.